Well, hello there everybody, welcome back to Mac and Gary on Free. It's Sunday, which means a new video, and today is a video that's been requested quite a few times. Strangely, only within the last couple of weeks, and I really liked the idea, so I am turning it into a little series. If you're watching these videos out of order, then you'll already know it's a series, but this is the first episode in my series. This is the first video in the series, so if you want to check out the whole playlist of these videos, you go do that. Basically, it's a what if series, thinking what if this didn't happen, or what if this did happen on the next step. So looking at the storylines that could have had like two different crossroads to go down and deciding what would have happened if they went down one instead of the other. So yes, anyway, today's episode is what if Nochelle got together and Huntmily never broke up. So Nochelle is Noah and Richelle, and then Huntmily is Hunter and Emily. So we're going to start with Hunter and Emily, and I strongly believe that if Hunter and Emily never broke up in season 6, they'd probably still be together now in season 7. Right, I have no idea why I said season 6, like literally no idea, but just know that I meant to say season 2 and that I meant that they'd still be together all the way through to season 7. I also strongly believe that Emily should have got back with Hunter as soon as Amanda was revealed to be a double agent. I didn't understand why this didn't happen, because ultimately Hunter would have then realised, oh, maybe that was part of the plan as well, and he probably would have asked Emily, or you know, just tried to clarify things, and it just seemed like they forgot to address that point. So yeah, I feel like they definitely should have gotten back together. So if Hunter and Emily never broke up, like regardless of whether it was faked or whatever, if they were still together throughout the whole of season 2, what would have happened, in my opinion, is when Emily hurts her knee at Nationals, instead of Riley going to talk to her and having heart to heart and Emily being like, I don't think I'll ever be able to dance again, Hunter would have done that and they would have had a really cute moment together. Also, because Hunter and Emily are a thing, Westmily never would have happened, which, to be honest, I'm not too bothered about because it didn't continue into anything serious and it was just a bit fun. It was just West being typical West, and like it was nice to see a softer side to Emily, but I feel like we would have gotten that if she'd stayed in a relationship with Hunter. So season 2, yeah, I think they would have definitely been a power couple. I also think that Hunter would have been the one, instead of Stephanie, to go to her physio appointment with her, and I think that he could have also had Stephanie's scenes where, you know, Emily told her, I'm still going to dance regardless of what the physio says. So maybe if Emily had that discussion with Hunter and said, you're not in charge of me, I can dance if I want to dance, and then Hunter is the one to walk in and tell Miss Kate Emily can't dance. I think that also would have given them like a nice, because I like it when couples have their ups and downs on the show, because it shows they're a pretty normal couple. If they're happy all the time, it's unrealistic, but also if they're negative all the time and keep breaking up every 5 seconds like Kingston and Lily, it's not realistic. So I think this would have given Hunter and Emily a nice well-rounded approach. I think that when Hunter gets kicked off the team after losing his battle against Eldon, Emily and Hunter would have had a really nice scene together, because obviously they're both not going to go to internationals. In relation to internationals, I also think that at the very end of season 3, I would have really liked to see them both reacting to internationals together as a couple. So then in season 4, when James refuses to dance with Alfie at the qualifier and Emily's like, oh, you've got to do this, if you love Riley, prove it. I think it would have been cute if Emily doesn't get through to James and he's literally like, no, I'm not doing it. So she calls in Hunter and Hunter has a word with James, because obviously they're friends now. They're friends by the time season 3. So Hunter's like, I know how it feels to kind of like not have your love reciprocated, because obviously Michelle didn't feel the same way about Hunter that Hunter felt about her. So I feel like they could have bonded over that, and Hunter could have persuaded James to just give it a go and try, and if he really wants Riley back, then to just go for it. I think that would have been a nice thing. But ultimately, I don't think Hunter would have had that much of a big presence in season 4, so that was the only time I've written him into it. Season 5, on the other hand, I think it would have been nice if, when both Emily and Michelle hire Eldon to choreograph their little hip-hop sections of their routines, they actually hire Hunter instead, or even Eldon and Hunter. So obviously Emily's boyfriend and Emily's ex-lover and Michelle's ex-lover and ex-lover, yeah, both Eldon and Hunter were her ex-boyfriends. Similarly to how Eldon didn't tell Michelle he was working for Emily, and he also didn't tell Emily he was working for Michelle. Hunter wouldn't want to tell Emily he's choreographing for Michelle, because obviously they had their old rift together and they also used to have a relationship together, and he wouldn't want Emily to be paranoid or anything, so that could be his little secret he's keeping. And then Eldon wouldn't want to tell Michelle he's choreographing for Emily because of their rivalry together, and the same thing vice versa. So I think it would have had a lot more drama if there was the 2 boys and 2 girls both like flipping around and trying to work around everybody. And yeah. Also in season 5, I think that when Emily finds out and realises that Rochelle is injured and she's debating whether to let her do the dance or whether she needs to take her off, she phones Hunter and wants his advice. And because Hunter would be the one to tell Miss Kate that Emily was injured so she couldn't dance at internationals in my storyline, Hunter could tell her, you need to take Rochelle off the dance. It's going to benefit her in the long run, even if she doesn't thank you for it now. And Emily will realise that that's true, because that's the same way she reacted to Hunter when Hunter told Miss Kate she wasn't allowed to dance at internationals. I think this would have shown a nice well-rounded side to Emily, even though I did like that she decided to let Rochelle dance, because I feel like that is kind of what she'd do if she was just that desperate to kind of prove herself as a studio head. I feel like it also would have helped her come full circle if she takes Rochelle off the dance. And also, I mean, we get a scene between Rochelle and Emily, and I really wish we'd had more of those, especially because of how Emily was Rochelle's mentor in season 2. So if Rochelle had been taken off the regionals qualifier video, I think Piper would have been given the point solo instead. But ultimately it means that Michelle and Emily wouldn't be fired at the end of season 5, so season 6 can start with them running the studio. But if we wanted Miss Angela to come in, which I would, because I did really enjoy season 6 and having Miss Angela involved, then Miss Angela can maybe put in a really high offer to own the next step, and Miss Kate can't refuse it because they need the money. So she ultimately agrees to go with Angela, and then the Miss Angela stuff can happen and Michelle and Emily work in Shakes and Ladders, or they're kind of on the sidelines waiting to be told what to do by Miss Angela. And then the plot can continue once the team gets rid of Miss Angela and Emily and Michelle become studio head again. So I don't think Hunter would have any place in season 6, to be honest, but in season 7 I think it would be really cute if when Alden comes to choreograph Lily and Kingston's duet, it's actually Hunter instead. Or if we still wanted Alden to be in that episode, then Hunter can just be chilling in the office when Alden is in there with Emily, and he can be like lounging on the chairs or whatever, and maybe Nick can tell him to take his feet off the table, and he's like, dude, who are you? And Nick's like, well, who are you? And Emily's like, this is my boyfriend Hunter, and this is my ex-boyfriend Alden, and Nick's like, okay. And if we wanted to go down the route of Nick being in a romantic thing with Emily, Nick can feel quite jealous and kind of threatened by 2 alpha males in the room with him, and Hunter can maybe feel territorial over the fact that Nick's this tall guy and he's acting like he's in charge of him. So Hunter can maybe square up and be like, oh, I'm Emily's boyfriend, and Alden would then be attempting to do the same, but Alden's a dopey dork, so I don't think that would work, and that would add a bit of comedy to the show. And like I said, if Alden is still the one that choreographs Lily and Kingston's duet, then maybe Hunter feels like, well, why didn't you pick me, Emily, and you picked Alden instead? And Emily can be like, it's nothing personal, it's just literally Alden's a better choreographer, or Alden's a better contemporary hip-hop mashup dancer, do you know what I mean? And Hunter can feel quite inferior to Alden, so maybe that's a story arc that happens. And I had an idea, because season 7 is literally the only way to solve problems is by doing a dance battle. Hunter and Alden could do a dance battle, and they could both end it by agreeing that they're both equally as good dancers, and they just reminisce on the olden days and they become friends, and it's just a nice heartwarming uplifting moment. So that is what I think would happen if Emily and Hunter never broke up, or if they broke up and then got back together when Amanda was revealed to be a double agent. So we move on to Rachelle and Noah, and I think Rachelle and Noah would become a couple in season 3 rather than season 2, because they were quite young then, and I think they were cute as friends, so I'd like to keep it that way. But I was thinking a cool storyline for them would be that they do make the team in season 2 for nationals.
I think the J Troopers have a really good shot at being on the nationals team.
Rachelle and Noah are beyond amazing.
I'm sure you guys will make it, both of you.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Thanks, yeah, hopefully.
Nice.
We have both Noah and Rochelle.
I feel like the only reason they didn't get on the team was because they were so young and well, they weren't very short. Noah was okay, but Rochelle was very, very short. So because they were so young, they didn't make the team. I feel like they would in my storyline at the expense of Talia and Hunter, who would be in B Troop. I feel like the storyline with Hunter and Michelle could still happen if we forget about my storyline with Hunter and Emily. Hunter and Michelle could still have their thing, but from B Troop, and it would kind of make more sense for it to happen because Hunter doesn't get to see Michelle all the time, so he's still pining at her, kind of the same way that Beth pines after James. This would cause a lot of jealousy and rivalry on the team because you've got these older dancers that aren't as advanced as these little J troopers that have now moved up, and they could also feel quite threatened by that. It's like they're easily replaceable and this is the next generation that's going to replace them once they leave the team. So with Hunter down in B Troop, and like I said about the similarities between him and Rochelle and Beth and James, I think Beth and Hunter would become friends, and then it would make more sense when Hunter is the one to tell Beth that James still loves Riley and he doesn't want to be with her, because I felt like this was a bit out of the ordinary because Beth and Hunter haven't really spoke before, and Hunter was only doing it so that he could become friends with James. So this could be exactly the same, but Hunter and Beth are a lot closer and she trusts his opinion more. Hunter would also really want to still be friends with the boys, but being down in B Troop, that kind of stops him and they look down on him as being a bit inferior, because James expressed in season 1 that he didn't want to be in B Troop and he kind of thought them as less than A Troop. You know, Wes moved up from B Troop, so he knows that they are less than him, and Alden I feel like just wouldn't want to be friends with Hunter because of the Michelle situation, so he's still doing his bit to get in with the bros and, you know, just become friends with them. Talia, on the other hand, I feel like would be pretty happy in B Troop for the most part, even though she did want to be on a competitive troop. That's the whole reason she came to the next step during the challenge. I feel like she'd be happy there because Phoebe led it as a lot more expressionate and free-spirited, and that is a lot like Talia's personality. So if Noah and Richelle are told a few weeks before Nationals that they're too young to compete, they get taken off and Hunter and Talia get brought up from B Troop. Hunter would be put into the boys' small group purely just because Miss Kate's like, yeah, that'd be a great idea, I think you complement them well, and then the boys can develop their storyline where they become friends and everything. And also Talia and Alden's relationship can then start to form when they start to talk to each other more and stuff, so I feel like that would then like align with what the storyline of the show actually was. Rachelle and Noah, on the other hand, aren't happy, but it makes them overall a lot more determined than ever to eventually make it onto A Troop when they're old enough to compete. So that would be what happens in season 2. In season 3, I think their plot can stay exactly the same because obviously they both start the show on B Troop. Noah gets moved up and Rachelle doesn't, and then they compete and whatever. So I think that would happen the same. So I think they would get together at the party where Noah gets with Abby and he kisses her. I think that would be instead be Rochelle. So all of the scenes with Abby and whatever, pretend that Abby's the one who likes Noah but Noah doesn't like her, and Noah in fact likes Rochelle. So swap over everything that Rochelle and Abby do, and that's what my plot would be basically for season 3. I feel like they'd be called the mini Jiley or something really, really cute, and it could be really funny if Noah and Rochelle start giving advice to Jiley because they do start to have a few conflicts that season. So it would be funny if Rochelle was giving Riley advice and Noah was giving James advice, and they're so like smaller than them and they're acting like experts, but ultimately their advice proves to be true and actually really, really helpful. Therefore, Noah and Rochelle would still be together in season 4 and No Amanda would not happen, which is happiness to me because I didn't really enjoy that relationship, but I know a lot of you did, so I apologise, but I hope that you will like Nochelle instead, so it'll be like a consolation. If they are together, then I feel like Rochelle would do everything Amanda does. So obviously she's the one that tells him to go get his back checked out at the hospital. She's the one who goes with him to the hospital, but obviously they wouldn't need to do the first kiss scenario because they already kissed in season 3. Something else could happen instead of that, or there just doesn't happen at all. But ultimately, I think it would be a good idea if Rochelle gets quite conscious that she's missing rehearsals to go with Noah to the hospital and her dancing is regressing and she's being passed over for stuff, because that could cause a rift between them because they're both such dedicated dancers. You know, Noah's obviously, he can't dance, so he's already upping himself about that and he's going to be quite irritated. So if Rochelle is also irritated because she's looking after Noah and she wants to be in the studio, Noah can be like, well, why do you care about dance more than me? And Rochelle's like, well, I don't, but I want to be there. So that could cause a few arguments and we could really see them maturing through those arguments that they're having. Rochelle could maybe even be considered to be the alternate instead of Cassie because she's away so often, and that could really be what tips her over the edge and starts Rochelle to not go to the hospital and see Noah and instead go to rehearsal. And then maybe, well, if you wanted No Amanda to still be in the series, maybe Amanda goes to visit Noah instead and he keeps asking where Rochelle is and she's like, oh well, she's in rehearsal, she doesn't want to come, and that could really start something between them, maybe. Yeah, because I liked Noah and Amanda as friends, so maybe if they start a friendship and Rochelle can then get jealous of that happening. I think Noah and Rochelle would get a lot stronger though once Noah returns from the hospital and he is miraculously okay from his back operation. They still get to do their duet at regionals and all of that stuff can happen exactly the same. So then in season 4 I would still put them together. So I think Jackie would definitely start to have a crush on Noah while Noah is still in a relationship with Rochelle. So instead of Noah being the one to tell Emily, oh, Rochelle's a bit emotionally stiff, I think it'd be better if I dance with Jackie, Jackie would be the one to tell Emily, Rochelle and Noah dance together all the time, like, give someone else a chance, I'd be really good with Noah, and Noah's like, well, Emily would be like, alright, give it a go, because she ultimately, in that season, just wanted to win. So I think she'd be pretty fluid with trying out different combinations of people. Even though she did compliment Rochelle and say that Rochelle was better at Noah in some cases, I think she'd be willing to just swap them over and give them a shot if Jackie was being so adamant. Even if it was because she knew Rochelle and Noah was better and she just wanted to prove a point to Jackie. So obviously this would cause a rift between Jackie and Rochelle, especially if Noah doesn't have enough of a backbone to say to Jackie, look, Rochelle's my girlfriend, I'm going to dance with her and I'm not interested in you. Noah's that kind of guy that likes attention from people. So I kind of feel like Noah would be like, oh, Jackie, thanks for all your compliments, but I don't want to be with you. Rather than saying, stop complimenting me, I have a girlfriend. I think ultimately though Jackie would give up and let Noah and Rochelle rise, and maybe even she start a thing with Henry because they used to have a romantic relationship, or they just become closer as friends. But ultimately I think Noah would be the one that snaps Rochelle's point shoes because he keeps trying to get through to her, Lola's trying to get through to her, Jackie's trying to get through to her, so he's the one who snaps the point shoe and Rochelle blames Lola. And because Lola's a very sensitive person, I don't feel like she'd be too angry with Rochelle, she'd just probably be very upset at that accusation. So Rochelle and Lola's friendship would be torn apart and blown apart, whatever, and it wouldn't be until the day of filming that Noah reveals he was the one who broke Rochelle's shoe. I figured they could do it in that scene where Rochelle's sitting on the stairs duct taping her shoes, because I quite liked that location. I don't know why, it just felt very grungy and mature, and I don't know, I just like that area. So if they have a heated debate there, well, argument, not a debate, an argument about Noah breaking Rochelle's shoes, and it can leave season 5 for them on a cliffhanger in terms of their relationship, ready for season 6 to commence. So season 6 would start and Noah and Rochelle are not on good terms with each other, but they haven't technically broken up. Noah can maybe say this in his talking heads during the opening dance, and maybe Jackie can say something like, oh, if Rochelle and Noah aren't together anymore, that gives me room to slide into his DMs, you know? So them two start to get close together, even if it is just as friends because Noah's still hung up on Rochelle. And in the episode Dancezilla, where Rochelle returns, Noah feels his feelings come back and he's like, yeah, I don't want to be with Jackie, I want to be with Rochelle. When Rochelle is giving the critiques to all of the dancers when she's trying to get Lily to think that she's on her side, I feel like a better one for Rochelle to give to Noah if they were a couple and my whole storyline planned out the way I did. She says that he doesn't have a backbone and doesn't have confidence in his decisions and stuff like that, relating to the fact that he broke her point shoe and didn't have the nerve to tell her and admit that it was him, and he let someone else take the blame. So I think that could cause a rift between them. Then that would lead to their little debate that, I keep saying debate, it's an argument that they have in the locker room, but it can be a little bit more directed towards their relationship and stuff. And even they could solve their issues in that locker room and eventually hug and say like, yeah, okay, we'll fix this and we'll become Nochelle, Charlie 2.0, Nochelle, be a strong couple, and they're going to get back on track. So for the promposals, Noah will propose to Rochelle, and I think that it would be nice if Jackie helps him do it, because that would also show that Jackie and Rochelle's relationship has come full circle from initially hating each other and both wanting to be with Noah, to then Jackie letting Noah be with Rochelle. I think that obviously because Jackie doesn't go with Noah, she could then go with Henry instead of Summer going with him, and this could then make Amy jealous, and that could be exactly the same, but it would also make Summer jealous, so both Summer and Amy would be jealous and they both want Henry. So this plot can continue the same, it's just that all the dancing scenes pretend that Jackie is dancing with Henry instead as friends and Noah is dancing with Rochelle. We wouldn't need Elliot on the scene at all. You know, he can say bye. We don't need him. And also, it would be quite funny and cute if Ozzy starts to feel the same way about Noah as he does Elliot. You know, they get into a dance battle and Ozzy's like baring his muscles for Noah and he wants Rochelle, but ultimately I don't think he'd be that bothered. Not as bothered as he was about Elliot and Rochelle anyway. And if we backtrack a bit in relation to Ozzy as well, I think that the episode where they have the compatibility tests, Ozzy and Rochelle still get paired together, and it's kind of a shock that Noah and Jackie get paired together because, you know, Rochelle and Jackie have this thing, ultimately for my storyline, where they keep going at each other and it's like, who will be with Noah? Who will win? So this can just add fuel to the fire that Rochelle has to dance with Ozzy, who likes her and wants to compete with Noah, and Jackie gets to dance with Noah and she kind of likes him, but they're kind of just friends. Jackie just enjoys winding Rochelle up about it. I don't think Jackie would actually do anything like, and Noah wouldn't cheat on Rochelle either. So when Noah is kicked off A-Tube in the episode All the Marbles, I think Rochelle would be absolutely furious. She'd really kick off. I feel like Jackie should have kicked off a lot more in the actual episode because her boyfriend's just been kicked off by someone on the team. I expected her to be raging and quite hot-headed about that. I think Rochelle would have a lot to say about it. She'd be very accusational. So pretty much everything for season 6 that happens with Noah and Jackie would happen with Noah and Rochelle, and then Jackie's role in my season would be to kind of keep winding up Rochelle and insinuate that she wants Noah, but ultimately she doesn't. Ozzy would be a bit jealous of Noah, but ultimately he respects Noah, so I think he'd get over Rochelle pretty quickly. And this would show maturity with him, which I think Ozzy needs, especially in season 7. My final point for season 6 in regard to Nochelle is that I feel like their episode, Nochelle, would have a lot more impact because of my storyline. They've had a full circle relationship where they started off really cute, then they had some arguments in regard to how dedicated to dance they were, and then they've come full circle again and they're very strong. So when Noah leaves, it would be so emotional. I don't even want to imagine how emotional that would be. That would be on Jiley level. I think that in that episode, or the final episode of season 6, they'd have a scene similar to Noah and Jackie where Jackie says, oh, you know, we need to break up so that you can go off, which I don't think they need to do. But I think that instead Noah and Rochelle would be like, we don't need to break up, but you need to go and be better than the next step. Because they're both very passionate and dedicated people. I feel like they'd both want to be together, kind of like Miles, Ehrlich and Briar. Like, they're together in real life. They're both very hardworking people who have loads of stuff on their plates and stuff. They're always away from each other, doing different things. So I feel like that would be very much similar to Rochelle and Noah. They're both got different lives, but they come together ultimately and they love each other. So that's what I would like to see happen. So in season 7, Nochelle is still together, but Noah's gone. Jackie stays. We're all happy because I didn't want Jackie to leave anyway. So Jackie's still on the team. I'd like it if maybe in an episode where Rochelle says, oh, I've got an Absolute Dance convention I need to go to as the face of Absolute Dance.
I'm heading to an Absolute Dance convention, being the face of Absolute Dance.
She's like, oh, Noah's going to be there. He's going to be leading a workshop and I'm really excited to see him because I haven't seen him in a while. That'd be really cute and just a reminder that they're still together, because I feel like TNS should do that more. Just add little quotes and whatever, just reminding us of old characters. So yeah, that is it. I hope you enjoyed my theories and my storylines I have produced. My dream is to either work in pre or post production, or even production. So behind the scenes, either side, or actually be on screen and, you know, directing a dance themed TV show. I think that is the area I'd love to go down. If anyone has any jobs, hit me up. So let me know down below what you thought of all my storylines. Tell me also if there would be any consequences to anything that I suggested. So maybe if Noah and Rochelle got together, somehow the next step would burn down in the fire and be destroyed. I don't know, something like that, but something that would actually happen. Like this video and subscribe. I'll see you then. Bye guys.